But let's start with the Adani Group of companies. In fact, overall, if you see in terms of the stock, they have risen for a second consecutive session. My colleague Agam joins us with more details as to what's worked for them over the last 2 days and what IHC is also talking about. Over to you, Agam.
Right, Hira. So when we actually did see clarification coming in from the group companies, Adani Green specifically yesterday, which suggested that the three names specifically, Gautam Adani, Sagar Adani and Vineet Jain, have not been charged under the FCPA. Well, that has actually led to a sharp rally, essentially led by short covering. What we saw yesterday was, that buying culminating into a little bit of a short squeeze, at least as far as some of your larger names like Adani Enterprises and Adani Ports are concerned. So what really happened was that while the stock fell in the period of correction, there were a lot of calls written around the 2300 mark, the 2400 mark. Yesterday was a day of trade where a lot of these calls, written calls, got covered, and that further exacerbated the rise as far as these stocks are concerned. So there was a lot of short covering. In fact, a lot of these shorts got squeezed out of the system, considering the rapidity with which we saw that recovery coming through, which is why we've now, in fact, today on an intraday basis, also saw Adani Enterprises hit the mark of 2,500 rupees per share. It was similarly, we saw a traction when it comes to Adani Ports. What is also heartening to see is that, names like Adani Green and Adani Energies are locked in an upper circuit for the second consecutive session. And well, it clearly does show that we are seeing a sharp recovery in a whole host of these Adani Group companies.
So IHC says that they'll be, invested in the company. So what's the update on that? Right.
So, there is a lot of boost of confidence coming in from various investors across the board over the past couple of days. And in the latest, we also have, Abu Dhabi's IHC, which suggests that firstly, that outlook on the companies remains unchanged and there will be no change in their investments in the Adani Group companies either. At the moment, they have also suggested that they remain fairly confident that the group will come out of the issues. They've also suggested that they continue to evaluate all relevant information when it comes to development. But specifically, I'm going to read out their quote in terms of their statement. They say, "Our partnership with the Adani Group reflects our confidence in their contribution to green energy and sustainability sectors." Do remember that they had, in fact, recently boosted their stake in Adani Enterprises to more than 5% back in October of 2024. And, they also sold investments in two other Adani Group companies. But they do believe that Adani Enterprises is uniquely poised to capitalize on India's robust growth journey. And this, of course, suggested by Abu Dhabi's IHC in its statement. So a lot of positive traction coming in favor of the Adani Group companies, or one of the many reasons why we are in fact seeing that recovery play out right now.
Absolutely. Thank you, Agam.